Hi everyone, my name is John. Just giving a quick life update. So, things are pretty good right now. Back to work. Injuries doing pretty well. Life is good. Yep, my funding is hitting, my research is going well. Everything's going pretty well. Yeah, except one thing, and it doesn't bother me so much. I'm really just listing it because I want to clear my thoughts on it. So right now it's been about a month since I've talked to my dad, which is the longest I've ever done. And there's not a lot of outreach from his side, and there's pretty much none from mine. Oh dear. And so yeah, I guess I'm just gonna talk about that. So a couple months ago, my dad was treating my sister like garbage, and I found it pretty unacceptable. And then he also kind of screwed me with kind of like a little deal we had with the car. And in the past, I think I would have let both slide. I would have just said, yeah, well, whatever, he's my dad. But I talked with my sister. Just a little bit after she started getting treated like garbage by him, which went on for a couple months. And she was really hurt. She was like, oh man, I don't even know if I want him at the wedding anymore. Like, John, can you look me down the aisle? Oh, his girlfriend's definitely not going to be there. Like, there's no way, she's probably the mistress. And I'm not going to bring the mistress around to a wedding with my mom and my mom's family. And I go, yeah, that's all reasonable. But we also talked about an instant where my dad physically attacked her. I'm not talking like a single strike. We're talking multiple strikes over an extended period of time. And then he lied to the cops about it as well. So he got off scot-free. And so when I heard that last tidbit, I was like, what the fuck am I doing with myself here? I've got a father who is categorically a cheater, because he cheated on my mom, a daughter beater because he beat my sister, a liar because he lied to all of us about the affair, a manipulator because he tried to convince us that my mom was crazy, and through his lies about not having an affair, he's been unreliable, he's been distant, he's not ever really been a great father to begin with. And so I think at some point I was just like, what am I doing associating myself with this guy? And that thought has been kind of bouncing around my head every day since. Like, what am I doing associating myself with a person like this? Like I've said in previous videos, I'll say it again, to me cheating is really, really shitty. Like I actually find it disgusting. And here we go, my own father is an adulterer, so what am I gonna do about that, right? Well, I kind of weighed my options, and I'm like, you know what, like, I see him, I don't feel great about myself after. I see him, I end up doing stuff that I don't really care about. It's almost like, I'd say 2/3 of the time I'm doing chores for him. And so it's just like, man, like, what am I doing? And so I think I kind of made the decision to see him less. But as time goes on, like, I guess I have this sense of pressure to see him, and it's not because I want to see him, it's because I feel like it's the correct thing to do. I don't know, it's complicated, right? Like, I'm trying to sort this out. It's like he is my dad. I've seen him every week or 2 weeks or like my entire life, and now it's been like a month, I don't know. So I guess I have this expectation in my head that I should see my father more often. But at the same time, like, every time I see him, it sucks. Like, holy shit, the last time he was having a chuckle about, like, wow, some guys have secret lives on the side with secret wives and secret families and stuff. And I look at him, I'm like, dude, I didn't say this because we were out. It would have been a huge, huge fight. But I was like, dude, you had a secret mistress. Like, what the fuck does that make you, man? You know, and I guess the reason why this is present in mind, this fine summer morning, is my sister, who just a couple months ago, for a few months, was saying like, yeah, you know, absolutely no dad's girlfriend at the wedding. Don't even know if he should be there. John walked me down the aisle. Yesterday she took it all back. She's like, oh yeah, no, I really want my dad to walk me down the aisle. Like, I know I asked you, but like, this is kind of how I always envisioned it. Like, you know, him walking me down the aisle, and he is my dad. I'm like, yeah, no, that's fine, and it is. It's her wedding. I'm like, what about Michelle, though? Because, oh dear, name drop, whoopsie daisy. What about the girlfriend? And, you know, is she gonna be coming? Because I know my dad won't come unless she comes. She's like, yeah, I guess she's gonna have to come, you know, like, I don't want her to be there. Like, I don't like her, but, and this is kind of why I'm thinking about this right now. Her words were, dad will be an asshole if Michelle, I guess I can say her name, Michelle isn't there. I'm like, okay, so do you want her there? No. But you're having her there because you want dad there? Yes. And dad will, and she went on to say, like, her relationship with my dad has never been better. Which to me, I don't know, man. He sends her like a text message once a week. I'm like, holy shit, this bar is low. And then, yeah, she doesn't want to ruin it. And she knows that if Michelle doesn't come, they're going right back to square one. Probably past square one, square minus one, square minus two. And I don't know, man. Like, that doesn't feel right to me. It almost feels like emotional blackmail. Like, hey, invite the person who I cheated on your mom with, to your wedding with your mom's family there and your mom, or I will throw a hissy fit and not want to talk with you. And that is the sole reason that this woman is going to be coming to the wedding. And I'm like, oh man, I don't know. I guess for me, this is probably not correct, I admit, but I do kind of view a wedding as you should invite the people that you want to be there and not invite the people that you don't want to be there. Now, that sounds simple. It's not entirely true. I think because you have politics, like familial politics, you have plus ones, you have all sorts of like drama and stuff that you got to consider. And so I'm kind of like, yeah, like I recognize that it's probably insane take, but like that's how I was doing my guest list in the past. That's what I recommend to people, and of course no one takes advice, and frankly I think it'd be crazy if they did, because again, even I don't think it's the right call, but damn it, I do it anyways. Like, what? This is your wedding, right? You've only got so much time there. You've got like, what, 80 people, 100, 200, 300, 500 people to say hi to, and you're gonna spend a fraction of that saying hi to people you don't care about and don't want a relationship with and don't want to even like see. I'm like, dude, fucking spend that time with someone you care. You know, that's like what, like an extra minute with 10 other people, 15 other people you actually care about. That could be something. I don't know. Crazy takes, right? I don't even like. I believe it, but I don't think it's right, which is also crazy. Because most people don't do that. They say I believe it, and I would do it, but I think it's also a stupid thing to do. Anyways, so yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what to do with my dad, because like, yeah, it is a bit of a bother. It's not stressful, but it just bothers me, right? Alas, he is a very temperamental person. I had to have a serious talk with him not too long ago. It went nuclear, like screaming at each other in the streets in front of the neighbors. It was really bad, and so I just know that I can't have a talk with him, which sucks. Like, you would hope that the other person is reasonable, but this is kind of like, hey, do it my way and be cool about the things that I do, or go fuck yourself. And for me, I'm kind of like, yeah, that's not something I really want to deal with. And I'm not I'm kind of like the type of person who's avoidant of this sort of shit. And let's be frank, when it comes to someone like this, I do feel, oh man, there's a lot of traffic, fuck me. Anyways, when it comes to a person like this, I feel like it's the only option. Like, I do not have that strong of a personality, where I'm gonna dig in my heels and fight and fight and fight, because this guy is a fucking lawyer. He'll fight and fight and fight for days. I don't have that dog in me. I'll fight for what I believe in, and then I'll walk away. But I can't just do this sustained argument. It's exhausting. Especially when you're getting, fucking yelled at, and, anyways, it just sucks. So, I think I'm going to continue not seeing him, because I truly believe that, I probably shouldn't associate myself with someone like him. The only thing that's stopping me from doing that is the bonds of family. But this guy also cheated on my mom, so I kind of know what bonds of family mean to him, which is jack all. And he'll say, like, John, like, sons don't do that to their fathers. I'm like, yeah, a husband should do that to their wives. I don't know. I do that thing occasionally where you kind of, imagine the argument in your head. It's a coping mechanism where you do that to prepare yourself for the actual thing. But sometimes you don't ever have the actual thing, so you're just stressing over nothing. So I think it's maladaptive. Anyways, I do that occasionally. Did that in the shower yesterday. Why are you going so slow, man? You're in the fast lane. You're going 80? Seriously? Learn to drive. Oh, wait, you're going 70. What the fuck is going on? Anyways. Yeah, I guess that's kind of it. Kind of plumbed the depths of my thoughts here. I expect that I'll probably see him at some point. It's just kind of unavoidable. But we're going low contact. I'm kind of proud of the fact that I can go low contact with him. Yeah, because I guess at the end of the day, I still am a bit afraid of him. The screaming and beatings, did not really lead to me having a healthy relationship with him. I've always been scared of him, and so in some way this is me standing up to him and saying, I'm not going to tolerate this behavior anymore. It is tough, kind of working with a parent like this. But it's just shit, like one of the last times I saw him, he essentially told me that him and his girlfriend spend a lot of time shit-talking me and my sister. And I was like, fantastic. He was saying, like, you guys are just after me for my money. I haven't taken money from him in like 5 years, like since I moved out. And I'm like, damn, dude, okay, nice to know that's where me and my sister occupy in your kind of heads, collective heads. And then I told him, like, yeah, I'm scared of him, and I, in good faith, said to myself later that week, like, hey, we're gonna do some therapy work on ourselves, because I'm good at that. Learned a lot in actual therapy on how to do it at home and stuff. No professional, but like, hey, it gets me through the smaller bumps in life. And I was like, yeah, okay. We're gonna try and get over this. And I kind of took a peek under the metaphorical tablecloth, and I was like, damn, that's a lot of anger. So I put the tablecloth back. I'm like, okay, we gotta figure this shit out. Why is there so much anger? And it was so fucking easy. I looked back under the tablecloth and I'm like, wow, okay. Yeah, he treated you like shit. He lied to you. He treated your sister like shit. He cheated on your mom, blah, 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 blah. He's still not great. And I'm like, wow, okay, what the fuck? What am I doing with myself? Just, putting myself in a situation where I gotta deal with someone like this all the time. And it's kind of funny, because I went from like, oh yeah, like I'm too scared of this guy to stand up for myself, to wow, like I'm fucking furious at this guy. I'm kind of done. And I guess this is kind of what happens when you don't allow for open, free, and honest conversation. You just kind of get like explosive moments like this where someone snaps. It's not great, but I kind of feel like it's the only way it can be. Like, yeah, I could go have a fight with him. What would that accomplish, right? It's just stress on myself, and for what, right? I don't know. I mentioned this to a friend about a month, not a month, like 6 months ago. When I was considering cutting him off for the first time. Or just like going lower contact. Really, like, I kind of opened up with my friends about like the situation with him, and I was like, what do you guys think I should do? And what ended up happening was one of my friends gave me the recommendation that, hey, I take him to the side. I say, like, hey man, like, you're not acting like a father. You're, I kind of expect this. Are you willing to meet me in the middle and, do this or do some of these things, like, take an interest in my life and, be emotionally available and not shit talk me to your partner. And if he says no to any of it, then you say, okay, then we're done. That's what one of my friends recommended. He is a very wise person, a very reasonable person, excellent at conflict and conflict navigation. And so, like, his advice is good. But man, like, I don't know. Like, call me a pussy, but fuck, I just don't think it'd go over well. I know my father like no one's business. There's a story we have, is that when I was born, I cried, obviously. I was infant. I was 0 days old. I cried, but then he said to me, or so the story goes, hey buddy. And I stopped crying, and I turned and I looked at him. And I looked him right in the eyes, and I stopped crying, and that was kind of it for like 15-20 minutes. And so I am titularly, I guess the word is, the man who knew my dad when he was born. And so that's been like a bonding story that him and I have had since, well, day zero. But I know him really well, and I just know that, like, man, any sort of issue just goes fucking nuclear every single time. I've never been able to have a heart-to-heart conversation with him where the topic is about something he's done. Like, I can have a heart-to-heart with him about unrelated topics. Those don't always go great, but usually I can rely on those not going nuclear. Sometimes he'll say something shitty. Like, one time I told him, like, yeah, I had feelings for someone when I was in a relationship. I did nothing. I did not pursue them. And he said, yeah, dude, but who knows, maybe if you had, you would have been happier with her. And he was implying through that conversation that maybe I should have cheated on my long-term partner at the time to go be with this woman. And I was kind of like, dude, I'm not about that. Like, no. I wasn't gonna do that. Like, that would have been so shitty. Anyways, like, you know, stuff like that happens. It's not great, but it's not horrible, I guess. Anyways, I'm still figuring out kind of where I'm gonna draw the line. I know where I want to. I know where I want to in terms of like mental health and kind of like top-down, big picture stuff. But there's this part of me that just misses my dad too. But he's not the same guy he used to be, so I guess I've been missing him for a while. You know? People change. You think you know someone, and it turns out they've been lying to your face for a long time. And I believe that the vast majority of people are good and moral and ethical and care and are genuine, and it just kind of sucks because I feel like my dad is not one of those people. You know, like, truth be told, I know that, you know, some people, you know, when push comes to shove, they'll push off the gangplank. But, you know, I've been very fortunate in life to only have 3 people who have done that to me in my 28 years of living. One was professional, head of HR, but let's be real, she was never ever chill, so I don't even know if that counts. One is my dad, obviously, and yeah, just one previous friend, but he didn't even do it on purpose. So, like, does that just leave my dad? I guess it does. Yeah, holy shit. Okay, that sucks. Anyways, that's all for today. That's my long rant about family, which always seems to be the longest topic. I guess it's very complicated, right? Years of history, decades even. Hard to sum it up in a 20-minute video. Anyways, that's all for today. Thanks for listening. You have yourselves a great one.